Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It is Christian here. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today I'm going to be bringing you another edition of Friday's Foundation Fix. And today we are testing out a foundation that is an exclusive to Ulta. It is by the brand Fiona Stiles and it is the Luminous Finish Foundation Concentrate. I picked mine up in the shade 04 and this retails for $30 at Ulta only. They also have a matte version of this foundation, but since the colder months hopefully are upon us, I decided to go ahead and pick up the luminous one instead. So this is 1 fluid ounce and let's see. And I actually really love the bottle on this. It has like a really pretty purple lid. It is a glass bottle. It does have a pump. It's basic looking, but it's pretty. There's nothing wrong with liking things that look basic, okay? I like it. Really quickly before we get into this video, I am going to mention that until the holiday season is over, I'm only going to start filming a Foundation Friday every other week because I feel like there are so many tutorials, so many reviews, so many new products launching that I really want to tell you guys about. I have so many hauls to film. So I just think until after the holidays, I'd rather film those videos for you guys instead of filming a Foundation Friday every week. Or if you guys are against that idea, let me know in the comments below and I will keep doing them weekly for you. Okay, so quickly, let me go ahead and tell you what this foundation is all about. So it says that Fiona Stiles Luminous Finish Foundation Concentrate is a weightless foundation concentrate created with high impact pigments. A full buildable coverage creates the look of perfectly even complexion and erases imperfections. A radiant silky finish, this creamy moisture-rich formula melts into the skin to deliver instant hydration. It says that it blends effortlessly for a flawless finish that promotes exquisite radiance. Okay, and then it says for a pro tip, powder the center of the face to create a slightly more velvet finish and leave the rest of the face dewier and fresh looking. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try this out in my same technique that I always do. If you guys are not familiar with my skin type, I did go into that a little bit more in the first edition of Friday's Foundation Fix, which I will have linked down below. So basically, I have very sensitive skin. It is dry, get a little oily in my T-zone. I break out very easily. I have a lot of redness to my skin, so there is a lot to cover up. Now I decided to go ahead and try this foundation out today because my skin has been playing me really bad the last few days. I thought I had my dry skin under control, but the last couple of days it has been a nightmare. So this foundation claims to be hydrating, full coverage. It claims to give you high impact pigment. So hopefully this foundation is going to work for me today. As always, I have already primed my skin. I did go in with a hydrating primer today to kind of help alleviate some of the dryness that I am feeling today. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in and we are going to test this product out today. So as always, I'm going to take a brush to one half of my face and I'm going to take a beauty blender to the other half. And we're going to see how the foundation applies with each foundation application. We're going to determine which one looks best. And we are just gonna see what happens today. You guys, I love filming these. This is so fun trying to like find the best foundation. I am gonna give it a quick shake. And I'm gonna pump out 2 pumps on the back of my hand. So that was 1 and 2. So there is the consistency of it. It is not gonna be, it's not super runny. It does have a thicker consistency, but not as thick as foundations like the Kat Von D foundation that I will be trying out very soon as well. So I think that's going to be the next one I try out. So it looks like it's going to be a really good color match, hopefully, because I've also been having issues finding good foundations shades to match me. I feel like that is a harder thing to find foundation shades that match because certain parts of my face are lighter than other parts of my face. So like right in this area, my face is darker. Then I have a lot of redness. I have this weird rash that I don't know where that came from. I'm not sure. And then the back of my neck is darker than the front of my neck, which is lighter than my chest, which is darker than my chest, but then my chest has a lot of redness in it. So I've been having a hard time finding foundation shades that work for me, you guys. But hey, I'm not giving up the dream, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and apply this foundation. Now, out of the gate, I can tell that it does have some pretty decent coverage. I can also tell that this foundation is a little bit too dark for me, but that's okay. I'll just go in with a little bit of a lighter concealer to kind of even everything out. Yep, it's too dark. This earring is driving me crazy. We're just gonna take those off. So I probably will have to go back and get the next shade down. Let's see. It's doing a pretty decent job of covering everything. It does not feel luminous. It does not feel hydrating. So I feel like that's really weird that it's even making those claims. Like certain foundations that I can put on that claim to be hydrating, they just feel like water when you apply them. Like they just feel really cooling. This foundation does not feel like that at all. Like I said, it's doing a pretty good job of getting things covered. I am going to take this foundation pretty far down my neck because it is so dark. It is a little bit too dark. All right, so that is what, so I still have some foundation on the back of my hand. That is with about a pump and a half of the foundation on my face. Did do a pretty decent job of getting things covered. There is still a little bit of redness in my skin. The foundation is kind of throwing me off though because it is too dark. It does not feel hydrating at all on my skin. It does have a little bit of tackiness to it. I don't even think it looks that luminous. I honestly think it's looking a little bit more matte on the face than luminous in my opinion. I don't know. It's too dark, you guys, but I am gonna wear this too dark foundation all day, and I'm doing it for you guys. I still have some product on the back of my hand. I'm only gonna take one pump, and then we are going to apply with the Beauty Blender, and I'm gonna see how this wears. I'm gonna go back and get that in a different shade, or I might be returning that, I don't know. Okay, so I'm just gonna apply. Okay, and then I'm just gonna start stippling. It's definitely not as full coverage with the Beauty Blender. The Beauty Blender is definitely shearing it out a little bit more, but it feels nicer with the Beauty Blender. So I definitely have a few more breakouts. I don't know if you guys can see that. Some breakouts on this side of the face more so than this side of the face. So let's see how well it covers those. I don't know what is going on with my skin, you guys. I was about to start, I'm waiting on a Sephora order to come in because it has some skincare that I've been wanting to try out, but I'm kind of scared to even try new skincare right now. My skin had been doing so much better. It wasn't freaking out, and then all of a sudden it just started freaking out. Like the dryness just came back like full steam ahead, or some monster breakouts. I don't know what's going on. With a sponge, it definitely did do a little bit more of a medium, light medium coverage versus with the brush application. It did give a definitely more medium full coverage on this side with one application and about the same amount of product. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stick with the Beauty Blender and I'm gonna stick with the brush. I'm not gonna build this side too much more because you can definitely see the difference between the two. So I'm gonna build up the Beauty Blender side a little bit more. And then on this side, I'm just gonna kind of go in with where I feel like I need just a tiny bit more coverage. So we're gonna see how this builds with the Beauty Blender. I did take 2 more pumps on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna put it in the center of my face and then kind of bring the foundation too far down my neck, so I probably am gonna look a little crazy today because I don't know what that rash has come from and I don't know what's caused it. So I don't want to aggravate it and I don't want to, you know, do something that'll make it worse. So I might look a little crazy today because this, like I said, this foundation is too dark, but I do not want to try to cover that up. So I'm not going to apply any foundation in that area. Okay, it's building up a little nicer with the Beauty Blender. It does build. It still does not, it feels more luminous. Like it actually, now that it's dried down on this side, it actually feels more matte than luminous, which I can only imagine what the matte foundation feels like because they do have a matte foundation in this range as well. Okay, so I took 1 pump on the brush side and then I'm just gonna stipple where I feel like I might need a little bit more coverage, which is pretty much on my cheek area. And then I'm just going to blend that out. I can already tell you guys, I don't like this foundation. Like, let me zoom you guys in so you can see this. Do you see how it's kind of like clinging to my upper lip? I hope that you guys can tell how it's kind of like really clinging right here. I'm going to try to blend it out and hopefully that wears nicely. But I don't like the way that is sitting at all. Alright guys, so I'm pretty much going to go ahead and stop there. You guys know that I typically stop after you know, 2 pumps on each side. I did use all of the product that was on the back of my hand. I definitely used the majority of the product on the side with the beauty sponge versus the side with the brush, because I did want things to look a little bit more even. It is still a little bit more full coverage on this side versus this side, but everything does look pretty evened out. It's doing some weird settling around my mouth area, maybe with a little bit of concealer, and once I get everything, the rest of my powder and stuff like that on, it will look a little bit better. You can I feel like you can tell that the coverage isn't even like 100%. Maybe that is just my mind playing tricks on me. Most of my redness has been canceled out. I have some really big guys going on down there, like I mentioned, and I did not attempt to cover that up because I don't want to upset whatever that is. So let me zoom you guys in really quickly. All right, so here we go. This is the side that has the sponge application, and this is the side that has the brush application. I definitely feel like the side with the brush does look a little bit better than the side with the beauty blender. There is still some visible redness. Like I said, I do not think that this does not feel like a hydrating foundation whatsoever, like at all. It really doesn't. Let's see. It does have a little bit of tackiness to it. I also don't even really feel that it looks that luminous. Do you guys, does it look luminous to y'all? I don't know. I'm not in love with it out of the gate. It is, I didn't tell you guys what time it is with my old stupid phone. It is 12:03. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup off camera, and then I will be back to let you know my initial first impressions or first feelings on this foundation. So I will be back in a few minutes, you guys. All right guys, so I'm back and my foundation is completely on, makeup is completely on. It is, what time is it? It is 12:18. All right guys, so the way I feel about this foundation is, the first thing that drew me to this foundation is the fact that it was supposed to be luminous and dewy and hydrating, and it does not feel like any of those things. On my skin, it currently feels like a matte foundation, but like one of those matte foundations that are just uncomfortable to wear. Everything just kind of in the center of my face just feels super like tight. So I'm not loving it because of that reason. Now, if it had been marketed as a matte foundation, then maybe we would be having a different conversation right now. But it was marketed as a luminous dewy foundation, and I feel like the only place that I have luminosity happening is like my cheeks, where I applied highlighter. So I do think that the foundation did a pretty decent job of covering everything. I do think that it did a pretty decent job of evening out my skin tone. Even once I put like my concealer and everything on, it definitely looks a little bit more like my color match. I pray that this foundation does not oxidize. I am hoping it does not oxidize because it is already a little bit too dark. So if it oxidizes, I'm gonna be looking like a crazy person all day. So I don't love it. It's already settling. It is already settling in places, and I've had it on for 15 minutes. So that's pretty, you know, not fun. I understand that most of foundations are gonna settle. One of the disadvantages of being a happy person all the time is you get the crazy smile lines. So, but I mean, 15 minutes of wear and it's already settling, that's a bit much. So, I mean, my makeup applied pretty decently. I feel like it's a foundation that did not need to be set. I only set it in places where I put concealer. I typically always set my makeup, but because it was already feeling a little bit on the drier side, I didn't want to do that because I didn't want it to just be like, to suck every ounce of moisture out of my skin that I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in a little bit closer so you can kind of see how the foundation is looking on my skin as of right now. And then I'll check back in after a few hours and let you guys know what I'm thinking. Settling a little strange around my upper lip, just a little bit. And then you can kind of see where it's already settling into the fine lines. As far as everything else, it did a pretty good job of covering the redness in my skin. This is the side that I used the brush. So I feel like my makeup from a distance looks really, really good, but when you look at it more up close, like I do in my mirror, kind of like, you know, looking for every flaw and imperfection, it doesn't look like the best. It doesn't look bad, but it's definitely not great. So the fact that I'm already kind of not loving it, I'm a little nervous to see how this is going to wear throughout the day. I'm going to go ahead and run some errands, and I'm going to check back in a couple of hours to let you guys know how I'm feeling about it after a few hours of wear. I will see you guys in a little bit. Bye. Hey guys, and I'm back. So I did not get to do any check-ins today, unfortunately, because today ended up being a lot busier of a day than what it was supposed to be. it is currently about 8 o'clock and I definitely did put this foundation through the ringer today. Ignore if there's any foundation kind of missing on my face. And I have the eyeglass indentions because I ended up going to go get my eyes checked today. I tried on about 60 pairs of glasses, no exaggeration, before I finally picked the right pair for me, and I think they're gonna be super cute, so I'm super excited to get those. So there's that. And then all of the errands that I had to run, so I definitely did give this foundation a good test today. Let's go ahead and talk about the foundation, shall we? I don't like it. I don't really know what else to say about it other than I don't really like it that much. I don't hate it as much as I did upon first application. Like when I first put it on, I did not like it at all. It did melt into the skin a little bit better after about the first hour of wear. So I had hopes for about a second that it would get better and that things would be okay. No. Just no. I just don't like the way that it's looking on my skin. Look in the mirror and I just don't like the way my face looks, like up close. If I'm really looking at my makeup today, I don't like it. And the foundation, I guess the one good thing about the foundation that I can say is that it did not oxidize. So I was really worried about that, especially since the foundation was already a little bit too dark to begin with. You know, the breakouts that I'm having, I think it did a pretty decent job of keeping those covered for most of the day. I have definitely tried out foundations that do a better job. I don't like the fact that the foundation, it did get a little bit more comfortable to wear after a couple of hours, look a little bit more luminous, but I think that that's more of my, you know, natural glow and not really, you know, the foundation enhancing things, if you get my drift. So my skin was a little bit drier than normal. It has been acting a little bit crazy, so, you know, I'll give the foundation points for not being a hot mess of a situation like I felt like it was gonna be. The foundation still looks funny right here. It still looks weird. I have like a foundation mustache, and then there's a bunch of redness peeking through right here as well, so I'm not really sure what happened right there. My chin is looking a little bit dry all in this area, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys a little bit closer so that way you guys can get a slightly better look about what I'm talking about. Hopefully you guys can kind of see the foundation mustache that's happening right here. Hopefully it's picking up on camera. You can definitely see where my fine lines are looking super not pleasant today. You can see a lot of like dryness happening right here. The foundation has completely worn off on my chin, but like I said, that's probably more of because I had to get my eyes checked and I was resting it on a bunch of different equipment versus the foundation's fault. Here we go. Here's like a really good, here's like the side view. I can't remember if this is the side I used the brush for. I feel like this is the side that I wear the sponge with, and you can see that I have some pretty decent breakouts right here. The redness is not too bad right here in this area. This is the side that I wear the brush. This side, with the brush, this side definitely does look a lot better. And then the foundation has also like worn off like in my on my nose. It looks okay like on the forehead. It didn't cling to any dry patches, or it didn't really settle on my forehead at all. So I just I didn't care for this particular foundation, you guys. The thing about foundations are they're very personal. In my opinion, they're probably one of the most personal makeup products that you buy, because it's really sets your whole canvas up. So I mean, if you don't have a good looking base, it doesn't matter kind of what else you do everywhere else. I had not really seen a lot of reviews on this particular foundation. But, I mean, that's just my opinion, you guys. Obviously, if you love any of the products that I don't like, it is just personal preference, personal opinion. Your skin is not my skin and my skin is not yours. So what works for me may not work for you. But unfortunately, this foundation did not work for me, but I'm still gonna test it out again either tomorrow or the next day once I pick up the right shade and let you guys know how I feel at that point. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. So thank you for joining me on today's Friday's foundation fix. And yeah, guys, just let me know in the comments below how you would feel about seeing the videos every other week, at least until after the holidays. If you guys want these weekly, I will definitely do them weekly for you. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed already, and I will see you in the next video, you guys. Bye.